A really good thing. So because I have that PTFE liner in there, it does really good with that. This is good. I'm excited. I need to fix this for a long time. The only real reason I'm doing this is because I really do like this tungsten nozzle, and it has to be threaded into a block. So this is the old block. This is a Chinese block with a like 10-watt heater or something, and oh, I hate it. I don't like this type at all. It drives me nuts that they even designed them this way. I don't know why, if you would want even heating, you wouldn't put a circular heating block on your hot end. It doesn't make sense why you wouldn't do it this way. So I think it's ready to start printing. Yeah, we gotta do a few more things though. Okay, so the preliminary tests seem to be really good. I'm very happy with this thus far. Until we really test with it, we won't know. Now there's one thing that I'm gonna fix before I go on, and that is, you see how there's some slop in here? That's because we drilled a 5mm hole for a 4mm tube. That's because we had to thread this with a the proper size bolt. Now I could have not drilled all the way through, but actually I'm gonna make a little insert for this right here. This little bit of slop may not matter, but when this PTFE gets hot, it gets a little soft, and so if you try to push something through here while this is soft, it could kink inside of here, which could cause a serious issue. Now the other problem is if it is that soft and you try to push something into it, it has the potential of trying to slide forward and actually clogging the end of this. So the solution for that is to create a little insert that goes in here that's made out of probably aluminum. That's what I'm going to use anyway. I could even use this plastic now that I think about it. Might even be a better option. But basically I'm going to make an insert so that I can thread something into this PTFE tubing and allow it to be held in position so it can't be pushed down. Okay, so you're constantly not allowing, by a pinch point here, not allowing that to be pushed into the hot end. I think that might be causing me some issues on the other stuff. This stuff gets pretty soft when it's hot. So I think I'm going to do that, and that'll be the last thing I need to do for this. Okay, because I don't have the time, I'm not going to put that extra piece in the back right now. I'll do it another day. But this, really quickly, this is a washer that I threaded a while back for some other project. Actually, it was a different hot end I was trying to build. Anyway, that's an extra thread stopper. But basically, I'm going to take this PTFE tape and just wrap a couple of wraps on here, so when I put it in the heating element and stuff, that it won't, the plastic doesn't bleed past the threads, because it will, and it'll squeeze out everywhere. So that's how I get around with that, and I'm not worried about putting a set screw in the side of here. If that nozzle moves, it's because I don't have it tight enough, because those two butt up against each other and they lock. So anyway, we're gonna do that now. Alright, boys and girls, I think we've successfully done it. I am just testing how fast the print can run and how fast the plastic can flow, and it is holding a really good steady temperature, where before it would swing like almost 10 or 12 or 15 degrees. It was terrible. It's giving me all kinds of fits. So now we'll adjust the bed height and go from there. I'm happy with that. And yeah, this was all on the live stream. For those of you who missed that, come back and watch it. Alright, well, everything was going fairly smoothly, but if you can see, if this camera will focus, there's some stuff oozing out everywhere, and actually it's oozing out so much that it's kind of making messes, and that's a potential problem. It's actually coming out of the thermistor hole, which is a big problem, and it's coming out of here. I didn't put enough Teflon tape around there, so we'll fix that. I think I'm going to pull that thermistor out and try to seal that hole a little better before I put it back in. Just barely drilled it too far, and that's a serious issue. Well, even with the adjustments, this sucker is really running pretty good. I got it cranked up pretty good compared to my normal, just because I like to let it run a little slower, but it seems to be running just fine at this speed actually. Usually the limitation is how much plastic can push out, but it seems to be alright. Now I gotta worry about that oozing. I capped it off, but I don't know. I think it's still leaking out of the bottom. I gotta let it run for a while, find out. Oh, things are looking good. That's a good layer. It's running pretty fast too. So success. I went ahead and put more tape on that bottom nozzle, that one, and I need to put a tiny bit more. But I ran this even faster than this, and it's working really well. Heats up really fast, and so far so good. I went ahead and, like I said, put a bunch of stuff on this side to keep it from coming out. It's okay. I filled the hole with Teflon tape, and then packed the thermistor in there, and then coated it with the gasket making stuff, or the crack sealer for exhaust systems. That stuff works really well. I'm pleasantly happy with that. I'll be using it in the future. Okay, so let me show you an example of kind of the problems I was having. So here is a ring. You can actually see the top here, how it's falling apart. There were a bunch of these that didn't even make it. So the ones that didn't make it, they just kept grinding the filament, or the motor would start skipping, because actually that thing grinds or gets into that filament pretty good. So this is really hard to see, but you can clearly see the difference in the print. Bad thing is the color here is hard to see on the background. There you go. You can almost see it's too hot. I almost had to get it too hot to make sure it would stay right, but anyway, and then the inside, you can see the inside's really so much better. And then here's some of these formers for the rodent coil. You can see the back and how bad they are. That black contrast, hard to see on this camera, but here's a new one printed on the with the new Hottend. The seams, everything, just a lot better. Alright, well, I'm satisfied with what I learned, but there is a couple things I need to talk about. So here on my original first Hottend build, I guess not really the first Hottend, but the first heating element, everything's compact. It's the same amount of wire, it's the same size wire, and you can probably see it right there. Okay, and I used a different type. I used cement that you use to put on seals for ovens, like high temperature stoves and stuff, and that stuff's alright, but I kind of like the other stuff better. Hardens better, it's easy to work with, it's not as messy. But the Hottend, or the nozzle I should say, was basically recessed right next to the heating element. Now on the other one, it's really long. I wrapped one layer all the way through. This one I wrapped 3 layers thick. Same amount of wire, same everything, same current and everything. So I actually really like this better, and I'll have to redesign that other one eventually, because what's happening is a lot of the heat dissipates up into the top, and that's an issue. So what I noticed is, because the heating element goes so far up into the top there, that the tip wasn't necessarily ready to go from cold to cold. If it's cooling down and restarting a print, it's fine. But as far as what I did earlier is I tried to get it to come out when the temperature said it was hot, but it didn't work because the nozzle, the very tip, wasn't warmed up quite yet. So just something to remember, something to think about. I will be doing that slightly different in the future. Yeah, thumbs up. Have a good day. I think I'm gonna let this go one more time on there. I want to see it lay down. It looks really nice. The outside layer is slightly slower, as you can see. That gives me a nice surface finish. but printing nice and fast on the inside. Faster than I normally print. Normally I print things pretty slow. Oh, and earlier, a lot of those prints were on a much slower speed to get them to turn out. Couldn't run this thing fast for nothing. Alright, let's see if we can catch it over here. Alright. Peace out. Bye.